Welcome back to the Believe in Badgers podcast on the Believe Podcast Network, presented by betonline.ag. Once again, I'm Matt Perkins, doing a rapid reaction podcast today to the news that Kyan Berry Johnson, a wide receiver out of Bolingbrook, Illinois, has committed to the Badgers. Before we get into the tape breakdown and what this means big picture for the class, want to remind everybody listening that we are presented by betonline.ag, where they continue to be your number one source for all of your online sports wagering needs. You name it, they've got it over there at betonline.ag. So head on over to the website or use your mobile device to sign up today and use our promo code BELIEVE. That's BLEAV for a 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. Bet Online, where the game starts. Okay, we're going to start with Kyan Berry Johnson as a prospect because Badger fans who have been following recruiting know that he's been a priority target not only for Luke Fickell, Phil Longo, and this staff, but the staff beforehand. Receiver out of Bolingbrook, Illinois. He is someone who comes with truly elite athleticism, and I think that's really going to translate really well to the next level. One of the things that we're going to see here is that with the ball in his hands, he displays just unbelievable balance and acceleration. He's got the long speed too to make to turn the afterburners on, but he just demonstrates some athletic traits for his size. He's about 5'11", 175, 180. And he can really, really move. And it's not just that, though. He's also got the ups to make contested catches look easy. I mean, look at this right here. Come on. That is unfair how high he gets up, high points the ball, and brings it down with ease. Anyone who's been watching and following the 7-on-7 circuit this summer and following Kyan on Instagram, Twitter, or whatever, will also notice that he has been pulling out some of the most ridiculous one-hand catches that you are going to see anywhere. I would highly recommend heading over to his Instagram to check out some of those catches from the 7-on-7 tour. But as we're seeing here, in proper 11-on-11, he is someone who just knows how to get open, and then once the ball is in his hands, how to get as many yards as he can and find the end zone. Also, quick note here. The quarterback throwing him the ball is a true freshman. Why should I say true freshman? He's in high school. He's a freshman. His name is Jonas Williams. Keep an eye on him. He is going to be a big time quarterback recruit in the 2026 class. Kyan Berry Johnson also was teammates here with Amarion Stewart. Stewart is also a big-time target for the Badgers at wide receiver. Stewart, though, transferring to Kenwood for his senior year there in Illinois, so they will no longer be teammates. And that means for Kyan Berry Johnson, he's going to be wide receiver 1 on this team this fall. He could put up some absolutely massive numbers. Would not surprise me at all if he starts pulling in some bigger and bigger offers. Clint Cosgrove, our good friend over at Rivals.com, national analyst who specializes in Midwest recruiting, says he is one of the most gifted athletes that he has ever scouted at the receiver position. And that's really saying something, because Clint's been scouting guys for a minute now, and he really knows what he's talking about, really knows what he's seeing. And Kyan Berry Johnson, here as we see on film, he's got those athletic skills. And one of the things that really impresses me a lot is that he plays bigger than his size. Like I said, he's 5'11", but he plays like someone who's 6'2" when he's going up one-on-one, but then also has the balance when he is in space to really make guys miss. Right when they think that they have a hand on him, he's gone in the other direction, has created the necessary space. And I just think this is a kid who's got such a massive upside on Wisconsin in Phil Longo's offense, right? He's probably going to be used initially out of the slot just because of that ability that he has with the ball in his hands to the open field. But it wouldn't surprise me, though, to see him turn into like a Z receiver. Not going to be a true X, not going to be sort of that prototypical Jamar Chase type guy who's just a 6'3", 220, but you can see him being a really, really impactful player at the collegiate level for Wisconsin. Believe in Badgers is excited to be brought to you by Infinigods. Infinigods is a gaming studio with a suite of free, fun-to-play games centered around ancient mythologies and civilizations. Visit Infinigods.com to play their first game, Infinimerge, and learn about their upcoming tower defense game. Play for fun or play to compete and take your shot at winning digital collectibles. That's Infinigods at Infinigods.com, unleashing the power of blockchain games. All right, so what does this commitment mean for the Badgers? Well, let's look at the 2024 class in general. Kyan Berry Johnson is the 7th commit for Wisconsin, like I said before, the 5th on offense. And starting with Mabry Matoyer back around Christmas, it has been a snowballing ever since then. And obviously that quarterback made a big impact on this class. Following him, Grant Stack, Rob Booker, the 2 tight ends, Derek Jensen, the big tackle who I talked about last week, who also committed. He's the first of what I'm imagining will be 4 offensive linemen that the team is targeting. Also got 2 defensive commits last week, Thomas Heiberger and the Landon Gauthier, the linebacker out of Bayport. Broke down the film on both of those guys. Go back and check those videos out on the YouTube channel as well. But I want to talk about first the offense. And Kyan Berry Johnson is the first and is going to be a critical receiver in this class. They're going to go for at least 2 scholarship receivers, if not 3, depending on how things shake out in the transfer portal. And I think Amarian Stewart, Kyan Berry Johnson's teammate, is definitely a high priority target, but he's someone who is, got offers now from Georgia and Michigan, and is going to be someone who's harder and harder to sort of reel in as the process goes along. No matter though, I think Kyan Berry Johnson has just as much, if not more, upside than Stewart as a collegiate prospect. Both outstanding receivers. Both will be excellent at the Power 5 level. Badgers obviously done at tight end, done at quarterback, looking for 2 running backs. I think Darian Dupree, the recruit out of Chicagoland, seems to be the Badgers' top priority at the moment. And I know that there are some recruiting analysts who really see him trending towards Wisconsin as well. That would be an absolute coup for Wisconsin. But looking even more big picture at the 2024 class, I would argue that this is the single most important recruiting class that Luke Fickell will have in his entire tenure. It is the first full cycle that Fickell has, and it is going to be a culture establishing class. There's always so much you can do with guys who are already in the building when you come in, and transfers and so forth. But this recruiting class is going to be about one thing and one thing only, and that is fit. And that is, not like you are turning away talent, but fit is going to be so important, and attitude and maintaining the culture, because any successful coach knows that when they come in, the most important thing that they have to do is set the culture and establish the standard, and make it so that the standard is the standard. We hear this over and over and over again. We've talked about that with Brian Bott like a year and a half ago. And you hear that saying more and more, but it's so crucial that the guys that are brought in this class fit the culture that Fickell and the rest of the staff are trying to establish at Wisconsin. And so, I think that everything I've heard about Kyan is that he is the quintessential kind of guy that, that this staff is looking for. Great student, great kid, and hard worker on and off the field. And I think that is going to be something that you see repeated in every single guy that is brought in by the staff in this 2024 recruiting class, because I'm going to emphasize it one more time. It's the most important class that they are going to have. So expect them to keep pressing hard for the guys that they really want, that they think are really going to fit. So And it's a really exciting time to be following Wisconsin recruiting. There's so much positivity and hope in the air. And Kyan Berry Johnson, like I said here, like it also would not surprise me if that the next round of recruiting rankings go in at the different services. They've watched his 7-on-7 tape from the summer. They go back and rewatch some of this game tape. He could be another 4-star. They've already got, four in line, or three. I think three of the guys are technically ranked as 4-stars by the different services. Guess what? Doesn't matter. I think that all the kids that they are bringing right now, like I said, fit the profile athletically and fit the profile in terms of personality, in terms of work ethic, and in terms of outlook. So, like I said, exciting time to be a Badger fan, exciting time to be on the podcast. If you missed it earlier, David Foff and I had a great conversation with outside linebackers and special teams coach Matt Mitchell. That dropped this morning here on the channel. Wednesday, we have Big Ten champion sprinter L.O. Johnson, the fastest Badger in history, trying to become the first Badger to break the 10-second barrier in the 100 meters this spring as a senior. That was an awesome conversation Bernie and I had with him. And then finishing off the week with All-American offensive lineman and now Buffalo Bill, David Edwards. So huge week of content. We appreciate you guys tuning in, subscribing to the YouTube page, subscribing wherever you get podcasts. Help us get over 1,000 on the YouTube page. That's a huge number for us. We're growing. We're trying to, really get out there. So please, share, subscribe, and thanks for tuning in to the Believe in Badgers podcast on the Believe Podcast Network, presented by betonline.ag. And until next time, on Wisconsin.